Hello, welcome back to Whisky Wednesday. Another Wednesday, another whisky review with me, Joe. So this week, I'm reviewing the Chivas Regal 12-year-old blended Scotch whisky. Pour a nice dram of that, and it is the second best-selling blended Scotch whisky in the world. So again, most, if not all, supermarkets will sell this, off licenses, liquor stores, specialist whisky shops. Everywhere that is allowed to sell whisky will sell this, or should sell it. It is the biggest selling in the world. You can find it in pretty much every single country. 12 years old, it's a deluxe blended whisky, and when it says deluxe, it means that it contains more malt than grain whisky. And when I say grain whisky is made from wheat rather than malted barley, so it's an actual different grain. And grain whisky as a style is kind of sweeter, lighter, and it's used to kind of cut through the heavy malt whisky. So let's give it a nose. The main malts in Chivas 12 are Strathyla. It's one of the heart of the malt. It's a Strathyla single malt from Speyside. You've also got single malts such as Glenlivet and Longmorn, amongst a lot of others. It's bottled at 40%, as are most blended Scotch whiskies, even the most expensive blended Scotch whiskies, still bottled at 40%. So let's give it a nose. So on the nose, fruit and nut toffee. Really is kind of fruity, nutty, so kind of getting a raisin note. It's kind of a little bit aromatic, so I'm getting kind of a scented candle. Bit more of the toffee coming through, so kind of Highland toffee. There's a kind of gentle, warm spiciness, so kind of maybe apple and cinnamon cake. I'm getting a kind of slightly cakiness, fruitiness. Quite a kind of deep orange. And orange is a note I always associate with Glenlivet. So you can smell that Glenlivet influence coming through, that kind of deep orange. I'm getting a little bit of ginger cake as well. Just that kind of slightly warm, kind of familiar, baked note to it. It's really nice. Really, really pleasant on the nose. Okay, let's give it a taste. Oh, that's a good whiskey. On the palate, I kind of immediately get quite chocolatey notes. It feels quite opulent, quite rich in the mouth. For something that's 40%, you do get a nice big mouthfeel. And chocolate, the grain comes in actually on the palate, so you get that kind of slightly sweeter whiskey taste that comes in from the grain whisky. So it's kind of sweet, chocolatey grain, and a sweet cereal notes. Let's give it another taste. Remember, the first taste of the whiskey, you'll always get a fraction of taste, but the most important bit is a second taste, and that's when all the flavours will kind of explode onto your palate. So let's give it a second taste. Now the second taste, I can taste the sherry influence, the sherry maturation coming through. So kind of it's a sweet sherry influence. There's a very, 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 very faint, and when I say very faint, I do mean very faint, peatiness to it. Now Strathyla as a malt is very, very lightly peated, almost to an extent where rather than peat, it's kind of a saltiness. And I get that a little bit on there, and it kind of balances it out. It balances that sweetness out, because you don't want a whiskey that's just all sweet. You've got to have a balanced style. So let's give it a third taste. Now on the third taste, I'm getting, there's more toffee coming through, fudge, raisins, and marzipan. So then this is the bourbon cask influence that's coming back through, the fudge, the marzipan, a little bit of vanilla as well. Oh, it's a really good whiskey. Right, one more taste for the finish, and this whiskey as well, as I say, it's available all over the world, your supermarkets, your specialists, online of course, local off licenses, and it's only about £26, 25 to £26, obviously depending on where you go. So value for money, you're getting a really, really good tasting dram. Right, final taste. Now on the final, for the finish, it's very soft, very smooth, which I know is an overused word, but this is a very, very smooth and soft whiskey. And I'm getting that marzipan note that comes back through, and a little bit of that fruity raisin note. It's a solid 8 out of 10, value for money wise. It's right up my street in terms of, it's definitely a Speyside style blend. So kind of fruity, light, a little bit of richness. Really nice. Highly recommend you checking it out if you've never tried it before. Most pubs, most bars will sell this, or they should if they're a decent bar. So, Chivas Regal 12, 8 out of 10. Please share the video. If you've tried Chivas 12, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of it compared to other whiskies. And I will see you next week, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.